They are here. I am at the post office today to pick up chicks. I do order my chicks through the mail, and I'll put the address of where I get them. They're outside of Cincinnati, Mount Healthy, and I've ordered from them several times and have never had a problem. You can see here, I've already got my chicks put away, but I wanted to give you some tips on what you need to do if you wanted to grow your own chicks. You don't have to grow them. Some people will sell hens ready to lay, but if you want to have your own little backyard coop and you want to start out with chicks, you can get them at Tractor Supply and different places like that. But I found this one location, they're very healthy and I've never had a problem. So, what do you need to do to start your own little flock? You need five different things. One, you need to make sure you have a water feeder, and that's what you see right here. It's kind of hard. I've got a picture up in the corner there. A water feeder. So make sure they have water and feed available. On the bottom there, where they're running around, I use like shaved pine. You can get that again from Tractor Supply. I'll have links also at the bottom so you can get a better picture and you can compare prices. But definitely have a water source, and then you have to have chick feed. They're very teeny tiny, crumbled up little feed for them to help them to grow, and it's got extra protein in it. And I just use a regular large feeder to put it in. I've not had a problem with this. I know they sell all these cute little feeders and water things, and they outgrow them so fast, it's not worth it. They will go to the ones that are here. You can see them go into the corner because they're kind of afraid of my shadow. So that's just an instinct that they have. When A lot of times, if you just peek at them, watch them, they're just running around and flapping their wings. This box here is the box that came with the chicks. And when I first put them into their new home, I do leave the box in there for about a week or so just to see if they're going to use it. I've had chicks that will climb on it and hide in it, and they like it for security. And this particular group did not. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the box just so they have more room to run around, and we'll throw it in the fire. We always have a fire going out here so that we can keep the debris up. We have lots and lots of trees down and lots of wood that we can burn. So we'll put that in the fire. And before we go forward, I want to review the five things that you need to start your little to grow your chicks, and then I'll give you a little explanation of what to expect and some of the details. One of the things that you want to make sure you have, as I mentioned, is water. Always have it available. This is the water feeder that I use. And like I said, I've got a picture here. I've got a link below, but compare prices. You also want to have a food feeder, number two, and you want to put feed in it. I get my feed from my local Amish, and they have everything: dog food, cat food, all the animals, all the feed, and it's non-GMO. So definitely get something non-GMO if you can. You can usually find a feed company within a few miles of your house, I'm sure. Then you need to have that bedding. Some people will put hay down. I like to put, when they're little like this, I like to use pine shavings, and it just helps the coop smell better, and it just gives it kind of a bedding on the floor. Again, here's a picture. And then the heat lamp. The heat lamps are available again at the farm stores, and here's a picture, link below. I use the red bulb because it's not as bright. If you use a white bulb, it's very, very bright all the time. And I just find that the red one is a little bit more soothing because you're going to keep it on for the good first 3 or 4 weeks until you can keep the temperature down. And I'll explain that coming up. All right, so you have your chicks. You have all your supplies, everything to go. So what do you need to do? I put my chicks outside in a coop. We used to bring them in the house and keep them and baby them and all that. But within 2 weeks, those little boogers are going to start flapping their wings and they're going to start flying out within 2 to 4 weeks. And you will have feathers all over the place. We started keeping them outside in the coop. We keep the lamp one. If it's winter time and it's extra cold, I might put 2 lamps. But right here, we got down below 30 a couple times, and they did fine. Just keep them warm. They will cuddle underneath that lamp when they're cold, and when the lamp is too hot, you'll see them disperse and stay away from it. So that's a good sign. If your chicks are huddled under there and making lots and lots of noise, it might mean that they're cold and you might need an extra one. Or if you think, bring them in the house. Again, I have not had them in the house for over 6 years, and I've had no problems. What you're going to do is these chicks will grow into hens, obviously, and it takes anywhere from 5 to 6 months before they'll start laying. You see that I have a lot. You don't need this many if you have a backyard flock. If you're just doing it for your family, I would say at least have 6, because sometimes, they die, some things happen, but 6 will definitely provide enough eggs. You want to always look at definite 50% production. So if you only need about 3 eggs a day, get 6. I have right now 11 hens, and I'm getting 8 eggs pretty consistently a day right now, which is pretty high. Like I said, I always count on half, so I'm really excited I'm getting 8. But count on 50%, and then you'll be sure to have enough. You can always give extras to your neighbors or something like that, or bake a little bit extra. And you can also crack them open and put them on the for your dogs on their dog food. Just put an egg out for them as well. It helps their coat. Do you need to do anything else? Basically, no. Basically, they'll be raised in the coop. Sometimes in the front of the coop, I will put like a screen, some chicken wire so that they can get some fresh air. I do not let them out of the coop until they're going to be about 12 inches tall. And I'm going to guess that happens about 3 to 4 months old. I might start experimenting. I have a run that I created. I put a fenced in area behind them that they can't get out, nothing can get in, and that will keep them safe. Eventually, I will let them start free ranging all over the property, and you can see pictures here of my astrolopes. I told you the black ones were astrolopes, and my yellow ones are Orpingtons, and I do let them free range, but you have to train them to keep coming back to the coop. So it does take time. If you're in a backyard, you're probably going to have them in a little fenced in area anyway. And that's basically it. Now, if you're probably thinking, well, what if they get sick? Really, if anything happens to your chicks, like there's a thing called bumblefoot, you're going to notice that there's like a big growth that looks like a tumor that might grow on the bottom of their foot. That's called bumblefoot. Sometimes they might get sick and maybe get diarrhea or whatever. You have to just kind of watch their poop. But like anything, you can tell the health of the animal. But just Google it at that time. Don't sit here and worry about things that haven't happened yet. And honestly, I've been doing this for over 10 years. I've had chickens and I've had bumblefoot twice. I fixed it. It's kind of interesting. And as far as them dying from any diseases, I've never had that. Here and there, I might see a hen that, is laying there and she's dead, and it might be because she's old, or maybe she fell off of her roost. That's another thing in your coop. I'm glad I said that. You want to make sure there's something for them to roost on. And because when they get bigger, they want to, pop up and sleep on a stick or something. They roost. So we've always put an old ladder. We put it across the top of the coop, or you can put a ladder leaning against the wall. You can put sticks, 2x4s, just something that they can grasp on and sleep on, and they roost. They don't like to really sleep laying in the pine bark. Right now they are because they're little, but eventually they're all going to start flying up to the ladder. Good luck. If you have any questions, just ask, but this is just to get you started if you want to grow your chicks. Thank you.